Well, here we are. Yes. Yes. The entire bedroom is completely painted. That's masking tape on the railing up there. I've still got a lot of masking tape lying around. I've also got to do a second coat on this. It looks good, doesn't it? I found out something very interesting. That's as many as 5 coats. This is at least 3 coats. This is at least 3 coats. Then you switch to a brush, and this is 2 coats. And this is 1 coat of white underneath. And then 1 coat of pink, which isn't quite good enough for me. As you can see, bits creeping through. Plus, I've also got to put masking tape on the top. So then I can sort of cut right up into the corner. That masking tape is bloody useless, honestly. Anyway, been doing a little bit around the door trims and stuff as well. And got a bit of masking tape from that. Anyway, I was sanding the top of this, and yeah, right about here in my last little bit, the finger went straight through and I got a terrible bloody splinter. Oh wow, it hurt. It was just like sand along and then just stabbed. You know, I've been doing that the whole time. With a bloody Bosch cordless sander. That's a lithium-ion battery one, by the way. That's been sitting there the entire time. Yeah. Along with a great big bunch of extra sandpaper. Bloody brilliant, isn't it? I'm doing it by hand like a friggin' dickhead. So anyway, I went and sanded all this with the electric sander, which, surprise, surprise, was fully charged, which I'm a little bit like that, being a little bit anal. I'll go and recharge everything and put it away and then go, oh, this might be flat, and it turns out it's completely full. And I've sort of done this just with the primer, of which I still have a little bit of primer actually left. Yeah, she's going on a bit thin, and mixing with a bit of the soot. I tried to sweep it all off, and then it's all still sitting on top of these things, and then I swept it off of the power lines here, and it bloody dropped in the back of it, and yeah, it's better than nothing. There was still some paint on it there, but you know, primer like this, it's better than nothing anyway. You know, considering what I was really sanding off wasn't the actual original paint. By the way, the top of this is completely white, and it's basically soot. So yeah, that's yeah. These ones aren't that bad that I should replace them, and I really don't feel like, you know, going and redoing all these bloody electrical stuff. I mean, you know, I know I'm a little bit obsessive with having them a little bit too close. They're supposed to be like a foot apart, so I probably would double the amount. But hey, that was damn near 12 years ago now. So yeah, so I'm going to finish that one. And then the only thing I've really got left in this room is to do the top here. I've even done right up in the back here and in deep into there. And I've got that thing made up, and it actually looks quite good. And he's cut it all so that it will sit like right against this wall. And it's pretty much just mainly sheet metal with aluminium edging, the same sort of pretty much edging that I have around the wood heater there, just for the sharp corners. But that'll go against that wall and then into here. And it sort of lines up with enough studs in there that we'll be able to screw it on without having really that much framing involved in it all. It's got a bit of edging and all that from the washing machine that was cut out of, but it's going to end up all right. But I want to sort of brace that little one there. That's sort of wobbling around a bit. So I'm going to get outside today and try and brace that up. I've got a bit of that strapping crap. You guys know what some of this... There it is there. This sort of stuff. This is one I had holding in the... I think it was the last fire extinguisher. I got another fire extinguisher now. And that's the sort of strapping that you have to strengthen the walls. So I'm going to try and get some of that, which is in my shed, and try and brace this better on the outside. And then what I'm going to do is put a bit of no more gaps around the outside of that. Might even be silicon, you know, just to sort of, but I've got to stabilise it before I do that, and then I'm going to get his big hoodies made up and put that there. And I really should get on and put the pot rack back in here, which is another one I might do today. And I used to be playing around with those cardboard back things to stop spatter coming out, which I probably should get another one here. And I thought, you know what, I might as well. I got rolls and rolls and rolls of masking tape. I rarely use this aluminium foil, so I just friggin' stick some on. So I've done that. And it's actually catching a bit of fat and stuff, which you probably can't see too well here. But, you know, under the right light, you can see it's caught a bit of oil. But I barely been running this because I just haven't been bothered to change over the hose, because I actually put a new hose on this thing the other day because I went to hook it back up. And the bloody thing was leaking, and I'd done all the bullshit in the world and just about over tightened the sod. I kind of did, and yeah, I just had to go buy another hose. And then, you know, 4 days later, the bloody bottle runs out, and I couldn't make this shit up, honestly. So I've got to get the bottle out of where the hot water system is and do all that. But yeah, I bought another thing. I might as well show you. With this hot water system, it's always a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's got to creep up onto that. So we've needed to work something out. So what we're going to do is have a like probably big ass blooming pipe that goes from there, and then it'll mount on the side of the frame there. I don't know if I mentioned all this in another video. That's a puller. So that goes out 1.8 metres, and it's rated at a tonne, 1,000 kilos. And I've got to lift a 45 kilo bottle, and you're not really meant to use it for lifting, but that's, you know, technicality because of safety concerns of people doing stupid shit. And it'll survive lifting 45 kilos on and off, and we're going to make it like a proper bloody platform for this bugger. Oh, why don't you get a longer hose? Yeah, well, you ever try to get spare parts for some of these damn things? Like, it's enough of a shit show trying to get a replacement hose for that stove, even though they're all built the same. You know, and it just, I'm not saying it's impossible to get a replacement hose, but like, you might be having fun and not get one to get another short amount of distance out. There's just so few they stock in these things that I've sort of forced to continuously keep this high up. But in the meantime, this thing's doing all right. I've sort of been washing brushes out in the shower basin. That's why we're getting a little bit of spatter. But there's so much bloody oil on the top of this thing that it's not really going to matter. At the end of the day, you know, it's she all sort of, yeah, it's all coming together fairly well. Yeah,